So I mean, blimey, where do I even begin with this keyboard? The design here is just absolutely wild. And I must say, it took me by a bit of a surprise when I first got it out of the box. Now, it is very red and covered in an anime design, though I suppose I should have expected as much, seeing as this is called the Redragon Artemis K719 Pro Anime Gaming Keyboard. Well, it's here now, and I've been using it for a few days, and quickly I would like to shout out Redragon for sponsoring this video. Links are in the description if you wanted to check the keyboard out for yourself. First off, let's address the design because, as I said, it is absolutely wild. Now, I'm clueless when it comes to anime, and apologies if I butcher the pronunciation of this, but according to the Redragon website, this character is called Ignara. I have no idea if it's part of an anime or a cartoon or just a character made up by Redragon. I've no idea. The character features on a few keys down the left-hand side and the spacebar, and the font, the hashtag key, escape key, and others all feature quite a drastic design. And on the back, you can find a full-size picture of the Ignara character. The keys do feel nice though, being 5-sided die-sub PBT keycaps, and the print quality I will say is decent. There is a rough texture on top to help with your typing experience and accuracy, and the switches used do feel extremely light, and it takes no effort to actually actuate the keys. The sound profile is super thocky, and the keyboard is using what Redragon are calling the Hi-Fi custom switch, and the typing and gaming experience here is really, really nice. The thockiness of the sound comes from the many layers of dampening, including a 3.5mm PO phone, IPXC switch phone, PET sound pads, bottom socket foam, silicon bottom pads, along with the silicon gasket itself. And as I say, it does use a gasket design with covers over a traditional screw type structure, which aims to help with the flexibility of the board itself. The switches, as I said, are so lightweight that there's no chance of that happening anyway. It uses a 95 key design, which means it comes with a number pad on the right hand side, which is good for productivity. And I must say, I do like a number pad to use as shortcut keys for my OBS studio scenes, though I do get why people like smaller size keyboards for gaming. There are no function keys except a delete key here, which means the keyboard can sit a little narrower than a traditional work style keyboard. The K719 takes on the small LCD screen like we've seen in other Redragon keyboards before, and is there to display the time and important status info about the keyboard, such as your caps lock or number pad lock being switched on, or the battery status. You are able to also upload a custom GIF to the board too inside of the Redragon software if that is more your thing, and it is done pretty easily. Running through the software that I've just downloaded from the Redragon website, I know it does say Gallatin Pro on there, but this is the Artemis Pro. The software, I'm assuming, is pretty much exactly the same as the Gallatin that we saw before. So running down the left hand side here, you do have your light setting, of which you do have various RGB effects here, and you have a little display that shows you what those RGB effects look like. Normal being full color. You've got a breathing mode on there. You've got ripples, stars if you wanted something a little bit crazier, and then of course you've got rainbow and various different colors to choose from. Running down to buttons, you can choose what the default function of each key is. Macro management is very self-explanatory. You get to set up your macros and save them in this screen by recording various keystroke button presses and assigning them an action. Other settings, you've got a Windows lock key, you've got an exchange key and an N key activation, and a USB report rate, 1000 Hertz, 500 Hertz, 250 Hertz, so down to 125. I've just kept everything pretty much standard. And finally, if you did want to upload a GIF to the keyboard, you have to use wired mode. So you have to plug a USB-C cable into the keyboard itself. Then when you go to view screen, you can see that we have got a simple GIF here like so, and you can go to upload all frame. Wired mode is supported, so get that flicked over to USB mode, upload all frames, and it will come up with a loading bar. And then when you look down at the keyboard, you can see that the GIF there is displaying on the keyboard. There is a blank frame at the very beginning, You could, if you wanted to, delete that frame out so it's literally just the GIF itself repeating. Go back to upload all frames, and it will do it again. So then the next time you do look at the GIF, now that that black frame has been removed, you can see that the whole thing is just seamlessly repeating again and again. And that is pretty much it with the Artemis Pro software. Not much to it. You can also save out various different profiles if you wanted to as well, depending on the settings you choose. Up in the top right, you've got battery settings, and then you have also got overall settings, including latest firmware versions that you can upgrade once they become available. But that's it. That's the software. The keyboard uses a 2.4 GHz wireless connection with a small USB dongle, though you can also use Bluetooth 5 and a wired connection too if you wanted to switch between devices. I didn't feel any kind of latency when playing games with the USB dongle, and it can produce a really decent gaming experience. So there you go, that's the Redragon Artemis K719 Pro anime gaming keyboard. It is super crazy with its anime design, but for a typing and gaming experience, Redragon, you have produced a really nice keyboard. And as I said at the start, links can be found down below if you wanted to check the keyboard out for yourself. And thank you very much, Redragon, for sponsoring this video.